You know, I'm always delighted when I could be on camera. It's something that my grandmother was doing with me when I was 2 and 3 years old, and I felt like I was the most important person in the world. And what's happened in my life is that my joy in being on camera has never gone away. My grandmother is long gone, unfortunately. I loved her dearly, but this is the next best thing, certainly, to having my grandmother here, and I suppose my feeling about it is that in some way, maybe she is, and that's why this can happen. But anyway, a pleasure to find all of you out there and watching this, because today I'm going to be reading some from the chapter. I want you to know that what I'm going to say includes some information from other parts of the book, and certainly includes information from my own experience in Bangkok around this. And the title is Oops. It's chapter 29 in the book. And so I will give you a little bit of background. When Lillian and I arrived in Bangkok, of course, it was a totally new country and all, but there were things that seemed in common. For example, when we went to a department store, it was pretty much the same as being in Macy's in New York. And the other thing is that at those stores, I occasionally had a reason to go to the bathroom. And what I discovered was that in the bathroom, no matter what bathroom I was in, whether it was one of these stores or a restaurant's bathroom or the bathroom, explain why, except that the floor was a tile floor, and down right in the center of that floor was a drain. And we noticed after we went out in the city again that other place, wherever they had one of these things attached to the toilet, they also had a drain. And in fact, every single building we were in when we went out touring was the same. They all had the same way of doing it. So we were puzzled as to why we had it in our hotel too, but we decided that it was to clean off that tile floor. Made perfect sense. Well, actually it didn't. And the reason this chapter is called Oops is that that hose had another purpose, and finding it out was a real discovery. We didn't find it out until after Lillian had gone back to New York, and I was there going ahead doing videos with them. And what happened was that I had to run off to the men's room, and actually they had them separated. There was a women's room and a men's room, and so when the shot was finished, I excused myself, went out, and went to the room and discovered that my men's room had no toilet paper. So I was concerned about that, and so I looked, and nobody was in the men's room. That was dark. Or the women's room wasn't in the men's room either. So I went to the women's room, and I looked inside. Nobody was there. So I checked in the stalls. They all had the hose beside the toilet, but there was no toilet paper there. That was very strange. I managed, because I had a Kleenex with me. So anyway, I went back out to the group that was waiting for me to get back on screen, and I asked them about this, and everybody looked very uncomfortable. Nobody was willing to talk about it. So I thought, okay, I'll catch Vichai, who is my kind of the person I went to whenever there was a question about what was happening like that. And so I waited for the chance to meet with Vichai, and we sat down together, and I said, you know, Vichai, I had the other day when I had wanted to go to the men's room and the toilet paper wasn't there, remember? He said, yeah. And I said, well, you know, Lillian and I discovered in our bathroom, we had a long hose with a nozzle on the end of it, and I discovered that in every single men's room or I have been in, and it turned out for the women's room too, that nozzle was on the end of a hose in their bathrooms and in mine. So I said, Vichai, what's that about? Why is that there? I thought it was just to clean up the floors, but I'm not so sure about that anymore, since every one of them anywhere in the city I've seen has one of those. And Vichai sort of looks kind of okay. He said, the truth of the matter is, he said, that this is used instead of toilet paper. What? I've never thought of anything like that. He said, yes, he said, I said, well, how could it be used that way? And he said, okay, he said, I'll demonstrate for you here. He said, what I do is you bring out the hose with the thing on it, and he said, you lean up and you put it under you, and that's what you clean up after you've used the toilet. I said, oh, that makes sense. So that night, after I got home to my hotel and I went in, I thought, aha, oh, good timing. So I went to the hotel, my bathroom there, and I realized I needed the toilet paper, but I thought, I'll do what he had suggested. So I'll read a little bit because it's better than anything I can tell you. So I position myself on the toilet, ready for action. And very cautiously, I take the menacing contraption from the attachment on the wall and point it carefully toward the floor drain, just to get used to the nozzle. And I get up and I press the handle, and sure enough, this water comes squirting out of there like that. And so but I realized if I press too hard on the handle, there's an explosion of water from the hose there. And I decide I press too hard on the trigger, and I'll take it easier this time. So I position the nozzle under the intended target here. And so with my right hand, I realize I'm not sure exactly where the intended target might be. I realize I'm very nervous now. It's like pulling a fire alarm in a school during class to see what will happen next, you know. And so knowing I can't even do as well as a 3-year-old, anyway, I try positioning near the intended target, and I'm very nervous, and as I squeeze, water explodes from between my legs, on the floor, the wall, the towels. As I rectify my aim, it's all over my behind, the bathtub, the shower curtain, the floor, the pant legs. It shoots everything. I give up. Well, and knowing I can't even do as well as a 3-year-old, I decided I'd better stop for the evening. I've done enough cleanup already. However, I can be foolishly stubborn, and I have plans to go back to solving the problem tomorrow. I should be able to master a hose with water in it. But I do understand why there's a drain in every bathroom floor in Bangkok. It's there in case a beginner comes in, and worst of all, an old adult from America comes in and desperately tries to use it for the first time. I wish you all well, and I must say, anytime you get a hold of one of these books, My Adventures in Bangkok was for story of John. Anytime you get a hold of that, just get a hold of goodreads.com and have a copy sent over so you can read the rest of what is in here, which I think you'll find interesting. So have a great day, a great week, a great year. Talk to you soon.